We'll start with the pound dollar, looking at the daily time frame. On Friday we had the NFP and quite a bounce off the 200 EMA to the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, we did recently have a hit off the 50% retracement level, coming down nicely under the 200 EMA. However, going back to the daily time frame, my bias is more bullish than bearish right now for a couple of reasons. One, the 200 EMA is definitely acting as support, again, as it did back here, but also even though we've had a lower swing low than the previous one, indicating the first signs of a downtrend, our last 3 swing highs have all been higher than the previous one to it, and so have the swing lows. This is the first swing low that has not been higher than the last one. So I think giving this a little bit more time to reveal itself would be healthy. We are close to the daily trend line, which has been broken, but a retest of this area, as well as the weekly trend line, this green line here, would be nice to kind of see some reaction around there before taking a more solid stance on the pound dollar. On the euro dollar, things are much clearer for me. My bias is definitely bearish, and after the NFP spike to the upside, I think we are either currently seeing a potential place to enter short, or we'll see one soon, depending on whether we get a little bit more of a retracement to the upside first. Both on the 4-hour time frame, which is this one, as well as the daily time frame, we're pretty much right under the 200 EMA, which is a nice little sign of confluence. We're also at a 50% fib retracement from the last swing, and I would say, let me zoom in here, that based on this daily candle, which is going to close in about half an hour, I would be willing to go short the euro dollar on a break of this candle here, which is going to kind of look like a spinning top. And I think that based on the 4 hours confluence with the trend line, the 200 EMA, stochastics pointing down, and general price action coupled with the daily time frame, I'm ready to go short on the euro dollar if we get a break in the next candle, which will form in about a half an hour or so to the downside. The euro yen has been much choppier than the other pairs, and at this time I'm not really ready to take any higher time frame trades. I've been doing very good with breakout trades on the euro yen, but looking at both the 4-hour and the daily, there's just all this choppy range, a few nice spike downs and then spike ups, but then a continuation of the choppiness. So for the higher time frame advanced trend trading method, I'm not ready to take any trades on the euro yen just yet. The pound yen on the daily time frame still seems to be in the downtrend. We're still under the 200 EMA, we're bouncing off the weekly trend line, and we're keeping to our lower lows and lower highs still as of yet. On the 4-hour time frame, I would be looking for retracements back up to the 50% level for continued down movement, and then maybe enter at some good fib retracement or a round number. The US dollar Japanese yen, I wish I had stayed in my short trade, which I entered up here, but I exited before the non-farm payroll. I would say that right now, if anyone is in this short, that it's a good short to be in. We are definitely bouncing off the 50% fib retracement, as well as the weekly trend line, and we're under the 200 EMA, so potentially more downside movement as the dollar continues to weaken off the NFP news. Australian dollar, US dollar, for those of you who took the long with me, right around there off the break of that bullish candle, good move. The NFP has definitely helped the price to move in our favor here. We should be around 200 pips or so of profit, and holding that one for hopeful continuation to the upside. Pretty much the same goes for the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We took the break of this bullish candle here, and we should be sitting on about 100 pips of profit right now. For now, holding that position and hoping for more continued upside movement. This is the US dollar, Canadian dollar, daily time frame, rather choppy looking and waiting for a retracement to the upside before continued down movement. But one thing to be mindful of are all of these lows down here, which have been forming some pretty solid support. So we would really need to see a break of these lows back on the daily time frame, and then maybe a retest of them and continue down movement before getting in on any long-term down positions. 4-hour time frame, possible shorter entries here, again below the 200 EMA, so looking for retracements off the 50 or the 61.8 fib retracements. On the Euro CAD, I have quite a few trend lines here on the weekly time frame. I'll show you why. This is the weekly. Decided to go ahead and keep these different trend lines, which I've drawn off of swings, just because we're kind of caught in between all of that right now, and it does seem pretty common to see a bounce off of a trend line even once it's breached it. So I decided to keep those on there for now. For anyone who might still be in short the Euro CAD based off of this swing and then continued down movement, I would say we're pretty good to stay in that, being that we're below the 200 EMA, we're within the trend line, still definitely facing downwards. And on the 4-hour time frame, we got this healthy kind of staircasing look to the downside. US dollar Swissy coming very nicely off of this ABCD pattern. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. The 200 EMA is acting as some pretty solid resistance right there. So currently looking for a breach of this 4-hour trend line, which I drew last week, before entering any possible more entries to the downside. Alright, I'm going to end this video here. I won't go on longer with the other currency pairs just so that this video doesn't get too long.